What's up guys, Everything Apple Pro here, and today I wanted to talk about this upcoming Apple event on September 9th. Now it's a given that of course this event is centered around the iPhone 6s and 6s Plus, and I've done those to death. I've made so many videos about those. What this video is going to be about is everything else that Apple is announcing at that event. Now of course these videos come with a little bit of speculation. Now we're all going off of rumors, and it's always fun to see, go back a few days from now and see how this video compared to the actual event. So basically I'm going to be discussing everything from the iPad Pro to new watch bands to iOS 9 Gold Master Edition to the Apple TV 4 and some other new products that Apple might be announcing at this event. And I'm going to be talking about what's more likely or less likely to happen. Now, of course, the iPhone 6s and 6s Plus, we know everything there is to know about it. It seems like there's nothing even left for Apple to announce when it comes to these 6s. They're going to be like, well, you guys know everything you know about it already from all those blogs online, so here, just buy it. And they're not even going to talk about it. But we all know that's not going to happen. So of course the 6s and 6s Plus will get announced, the new fancy technology, Force Touch, and there will be a 16 gigabyte base model storage. It's been debatable about which one was likely to happen, but now the profit margin is a lot higher for the 16 gigabyte devices. It forces people to upgrade to the 64 and then thus earning Apple more money. And Apple's justification for this, I'm really curious to see. I want to know how in 2015 they're still selling 16 gigabyte model iPhones. So that's going to be really interesting to see. I expect app thinning, lower iOS 9 software update sizes to be in there. It's not right. You shouldn't be selling 16 gigabyte devices in 2015. 32 should be the base. Now, I just wanted to mention that we've had 16 gigabytes of base storage since the iPhone 3GS. At the time, during the 3GS release, that was actually a pretty big jump up in base storage. Now, yes, we have an 8 gigabyte 3GS, but that came later. The very first one was the 16 gigabyte. Now, I liked Apple back then. They were pioneering. They were doing something that no one else wanted to by upping the 16 gigabyte of storage. Now we're still stuck at 16, and I just think it's unacceptable. Apple, that's not right. Please fix this. I mean, 32 is what I want to see, but we're unlikely to see that with the iPhone 6s. Not only that, but the cameras, which were stuck at 8 megapixels since the 4S, are finally going to receive an upgrade on the 6s to 12 megapixels. So thank goodness for that. And also expect some of these words, actually most of these words, to be said. Revolutionary, amazing, incredible, beautiful, fantastic, phenomenal, aluminium. And Johnny Ive is gonna sugarcoat all of these words. You're gonna want whatever Apple has to sell you so bad after watching Johnny Ive in a white background and a gray shirt talking about these products, trust me. And we might hear unapologetically again, since the iPhone 6s is getting a little bit thicker, just like the iPad 3 got thicker than the 2, and they use that word, unapologetically, because we don't want you guys to think we're going backwards on accident. We're doing it unapologetically. But anyways, that's the iPhone 6s. Now, as far as pre-orders for that, September 11th and September 18th is likely to be the final release. Now that that's out of the way, I wanted to talk about everything else that Apple's going to be announcing at this event. Usually it's very interesting for me to see how accurate these type of videos are, a few days after the event. But based off of the rumors, we've got a pretty good idea of what's coming. So first off, I just wanted to say that Apple's begun decorating this event. So we've got some nice new Siri-oriented wallpapers that I've got right here. I could throw the links down below in the description if you want to download them. And actually the event, some posters are coming up, and it's looking to be very nice. Now, the reason we have Siri on these events is because of the Apple TV 4. It's going to be receiving a huge Siri overhaul. So right now we have the little Apple remote. It's very hard to go and browse and find your shows. It's going to be a lot easier search and Siri-wise to go ahead and find your favorite shows or stuff that you don't even know about just by asking Siri. So that's going to be a major focus of the Apple TV 4. Now, the actual 4 in the Apple TV may be deceiving. A lot of people were expecting it to receive a 4K update. However, now that's very unlikely based on a recent analyst that says the 4K is not going to be related to the Apple TV 4 at all. The name, it's going to be 1080p, possibly 60 frames per second, but basically it might receive a smaller form factor. It'll be faster, powered by the Apple A8 chip, possibly 1 gigabyte of RAM. The current Apple TV 3 has 500 megahertz, so it will be a considerable upgrade in performance as well. And another major focus of this Apple TV 4 will be gaming. So it's going to have a Wii-like remote. Now, this remote is going to have a lot of sensors inside of it, so you'll be able to use it gesture-wise just like a Wii. And you can expect a new app store on the Apple TV 4. So a lot of developers will be able to create their own apps now, possibly even receiving the Siri API so they can incorporate integrate Siri into those applications. So we're going to see a lot of games on the Apple TV 4. That's unheard of at this point, but it should sway a lot of people over to it from other competitors. So that's going to be really interesting to see, and I will be covering that as well. I'll be ordering one and show you guys what that's all about. Now, iOS 9, that's going to be a major focus of this event as well, and iOS 9 Gold Master Edition will drop on the very same day as history has shown us. So that's pretty much the final complete version of iOS 9. Now, the actual full release will take place sometime mid-September, usually during the iPhone 6s drop a day or two before, but we don't know a date yet, but we're likely to see mid-September final release of iOS 9. Also, Apple Watch OS 2. Finally, if you guys were on a beta, you could finally upgrade to a usable version, and it's going to have new features if you're into Apple Watch. I have a video on that on my channel as well. Now, what's not likely to happen? There's been a lot of chatter about Apple actually releasing the new iPad Pro and the iPad Mini for this event as well. Now, let me tell you why that's not likely. The iPads usually take place in October along with iMac and Mac Pro refreshes, so it's not likely that Apple would clump all of this into one event. That's just too much. But Apple could surprise me. They do sometimes change things up a bit, so we might see an iPad Pro refresh. Now, I haven't really been talking about it on this channel, but it's basically a larger version of the regular iPad aimed at professional usage. It'll come with a pressure sensitive stylus. Unlike the Force Touch display, the actual stylus will be pressure sensitive, so it's going to be very, very oriented towards professional use. It won't run OS 10 or anything. It'll run an iOS 9 version. It's going to have a better version of the split screen view. Applications will be optimized for that certain view, so I'm excited to see what that could bring, and it'll be very powerful. It's said to receive the internals of the iPhone 6s, so that's DDR4, 2GB of RAM, and an Apple A9 chip, and the iPad Mini 4. So the last update was just Touch ID. Internals, everything stayed the same. It was just a Touch ID that was added to it. So the iPad Mini 4 is supposed to shrink down to the iPad Air 2 thickness. It'll receive all new internals, probably the Apple A8 chip, maybe the A8X from the iPad Air 2, who knows, but if you like the smaller iPads, which I do, it's a great update. Also, a new 21.5-inch iMac 4K. Now, this thing is going to be the base model of the iMac. Apple's going to up the storage, which will be nice. You'll be able to get more for your money now, and that's always a great option. Now, like I said again, iPads and iMacs are usually in October, so it's very unlikely that Apple would announce them at this event, but if they do, definitely don't expect a release until October, and possibly an iPad Pro and a new iMac, as well as some new Apple Watch Sport bands, but those are likely to happen again in October. So although this will be a great lineup for Apple, what I'm really looking forward to is a Mac Pro refresh and a new Cinema 5K display. I hate having to use a third-party display with my Apple desktop. That's just not fair, and I hope Apple finally catches up with the technology to make the 5K Cinema display a possibility. So I'm very excited to see what this event will bring and what it won't bring to compare it to this video. Again, it's happening this Wednesday, September 9th at 10 a.m. Pacific Daily Time. So stay tuned for that. Now, where you can watch it, pretty much apple.com. You'll see a link for it there, and it's available to Windows 10 and Mac OS 10 users to stream on Safari. So be sure to check that out, and I'll be covering everything related to that release as soon as we have that information. Of course, I'll be ordering everything and showing you guys what they're all about. So thanks for watching this video, guys. Let me know in the comments down below what you want to see at this event and what's probably not going to happen. So have a great day, guys, and wait patiently until the event. Just a few more days to go. Peace.